Let's start by taking a look at what we'll be creating in this video. So it's a very short mini scenario. We'll be looking at how to construct this. The actual content of this scenario is very basic, quite trivial. Not something we'd probably use in a real project because, again, the emphasis here is just how to put this together with the images and texts and buttons. So anyway, we've got this very short story about Alex, who's recently joined a new team and wants to make a good impression. So we go continue. And then we are told that Alex has discovered that some of these key tasks seem to be off track for project deadline, and that she wants to speak up, but she's a bit worried about how that will be perceived by her team. And then we're asked, well, what should Alex do? And we have two options. So if we choose the first one, we'll see that the consequences of that choice are that the team struggles to recover and there's a delay. And then in the other one, so if we go back here, and this time we choose speak up, we can see that that is the more ideal choice and the consequences of that are better. So with her team appreciating her and yeah, so and avoiding delays. Okay, so and that's it. And then you can just press restart if you want to. So that's it for that one. So let's actually just look now at how we're going to build it. So we're going to use a tool, an app here called Genially. Now, with this, we can actually use anything that will let us create slides and let us create like with a option for a button to take us to other slides. It's really all we need. Also something that we can embed in a website. So for instance here, I've got this embedded in Moodle, but we could embed this anywhere. Now, in terms of things to make it with, this is an option down here. This one I've actually made in Google Slides, and it works more or less the same. One problem I noticed with this, though, and it's quite a significant one, is that it works fine on a computer like we're viewing it here. But if you look at this on a mobile phone, on the mobile screen, when you go and swipe the screen to move up and down, actually, sorry, I'll just go back here. Yeah, when you go to swipe the screen and just try and move up and down, if you swipe on this area on the screen on a phone with your finger, it just doesn't scroll. It won't register that you've swiped. So you end up with this big issue where you can't move up and down on the screen. Now, on the mobile phone, Genially doesn't have that problem. Look, it comes with its own things, like you get these, like a logo for Genially down here. Which is not ideal, but it doesn't seem to get in the way too much. So it's what I'm using. But again, you can use anything that you can embed in a website and that will let you create slides and buttons on those slides. So anyway, we'll use Genially here today. So let's get started. So I've just created, this is just a brand new, fresh Genially account. It's free. Um, so we can go to create Genially here, up here on the left. By the way, if you can't see this dashboard screen, you can just click on your initials on that little logo up there. And then we go to create Genially, and we're going to go to blank creation, and that will start creating a new project for us. The first thing we'll do, just while that's loading, if we go back here, we can notice that the dimensions of the slide, or what we're using here, is really set up for mobile phone. It's a mobile first approach. The idea is that we want, I mean, it still looks okay on the computer, but if we were to create a, if we go back here to the editor, if we choose a landscape view, like as the default here, so if we were, to run like a landscape view, and if I just go present this, and it'll just be a blank slide. But if we were to look at that on a mobile phone, it's just a blank screen, so that doesn't really help. But yeah, look, if we look at something that's landscape view on a mobile phone, it just doesn't work very well. It appears very small in the middle of the screen. It just doesn't work on the mobile. So, and to try and configure it so that it can then, maybe adjust itself is a lot of work. So to save ourselves that hassle, we can just go with this mobile first approach. And again, it looks fine on the computer and it will look great on a mobile. So that's why we're going to choose back in our editor. If we just open that panel again over on the right, we're going to choose this mobile view here. Furthermore, in Genially, we can choose which, if we go to this navigation, so that's, by the way, on the Canvas tab here, we choose mobile. And then on the, we don't need to touch anything else for now, just click mobile. And then on this navigation tab, what we actually want to do is choose microsite. And so the default is this standard one, which actually gives us these buttons here where we can go through the slides, which is great if you're creating a normal presentation. We don't want that because we're going to use, like in our demo, our own buttons. And in fact, we definitely don't want people just to go to the next slide here, because depending on the choice they make, we either go to slide, slide 3 or slide 4. So we definitely don't want that approach. So we're going to choose this microsite approach, and that will just remove those buttons for us and let us create our own navigation between the slides. Okay, so again, that was mobile, and then navigation on the canvas, and then navigation set to microsite. Okay, so I'll just shut that panel there, and we can get started. Now, there's no, one of the things in terms of designing and alignment and getting things looking nice in Genially is that there's no grid function like there is if you've used other graphic tools like Photoshop or Illustrator or even Canva. You can set up a grid in the background which helps you align objects with each other, and you can offer other things like guides which help you snap objects to them. So we don't have that. But so what we're going to do rather is I've created a grid, and I'll make that available as a link in the video description. It's just a very basic image, and in fact, what I'm going to do is go to Resources, and then I'm going to go to Upload Image, and I'm going to choose this one, Grid, um, 120px. So it's in my downloads folder. So I'm just uploading that off my computer. Again, I'll make that available to download this image in the link description. This image is set up, it's a grid, and you can see I've just moved it a bit, and I'm going to resize it. Actually, I'm just going to zoom in a bit. I'm pressing the magnifying glass on here, and I'm going to pull it down and just align it with the bottom of the screen there. So it's covering the whole slide, or the canvas there. So, and then go back out. There we go. So now we can use this to align objects on our slides. So we won't include it when we actually publish the project. So for instance, you don't see the grid here because we'll get rid of it before we actually publish it. Okay, but it will help us align objects and make things look a bit more neat and tidy with an object. So we've added this as an image. We don't want it to really we don't want to be able to select it, and we don't want it to interfere with objects on top of it. So what we can do is actually select the image, press the padlock here, and that will lock it, and that's just going to prevent us selecting. Now I can't actually pick it up and move it, which is what we want for now until we actually go and get rid of it. So what we'll do now is we want to add, well, if we look at our demo here, we've got three things to add really. Let me just go back to the start of this one. So I'll just go to speak up, and then I'm just going to, we can take it back to the start if we press restart. So yeah, there's three objects we really want to add. So we've got an avatar or a character here with a neutral expression. We've got some text, and we've got our button down the bottom here, which is just a shape with some text on it. So let's actually start, let's do the button first. So I'm going to go to our editor, and what we're going to do is you want to click on Resources, and we're going to use a shape here. I'm going to go to Show More, and I'm going to choose this one down here, this gray one. It's got a bit of a drop shadow on it. The drop shadow can just help indicate to the user, so I've just dragged it out on the screen, but the drop shadow can just help indicate that this is a clickable object. Now I want to make this around one row high, and I'm going to drag it down the bottom here and zoom in on it. So just zoom in, and I'm going to make it one row and just sort of those dimensions like that. Okay, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to change the color of this. So I'm going to select it, and I'm going to go up here. Once you've got an object selected, you can change its color. I'm going to click here, make it the not black, not full black, but the darkest gray. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we want to add some text on top of that. So I'm going to pull out this subtitle and drop it there. Now, what we're going to do is I'll just grab this and I'm going to place it over the top. And I want to make this text box. Notice with the text box, there's two ways to click it. You can click inside it and you'll get the cursor inside, or if you then click off it and click around the edge, if you hover over it you get this four-sided arrow, you can actually then click on it and move it around. It will select the whole text box, not the text inside. Now we want to place it on there and then make the text box around the size of the button behind it, the shape behind it. What we're going to do then is click on the text. We want to change it to a white color. So I've gone up, pressed the A with the line here to change the color of the text. I'm going to make that a white color. Okay. Again, select the text just by double clicking on it. And what we're going to do is change the font. So I'm typing in here, I'm going to search for a font, ROB for Roboto. Pardon me. Choose Roboto. And then what I'm going to do is write in all caps, continue. I'm going to select that text, make the size 20, and I'm going to come over here to the alignment option, press that, and we're going to center align this text. Okay, now I want to hover over here over the text box, and I'm going to click and drag down, and you'll see that Genially will help us align objects with each other. So if I'm moving this text box around, you can see we get a line there that it's middle aligned and now center aligned using those purple guides there. Great, okay. So it's quite big text there, but we want it to be quite prominent on this button here, especially because we've got the little Genially logo sort of in the way there, at least on the free account here. Okay, but anyway, so that's done. So let's zoom out a bit. Okay, so what we're going to do, it's not quite done actually. What we want to do is select, I'm going to click and select around both, and we basically want to select both of those objects. So again, I'm going to start out here, click and drag around so that they're both selected. Now, when we have two objects selected, again, we want to make sure our background's locked, so we're not selecting it. But we've got these two objects selected, the text and the rectangle in the back. And with them both selected, we can press this button here, which will group them into one object. And now we could pick that up and move them together as one object, which will make things look much easier, and is actually going to help a lot when if we want to click on it, we want it to be one object. We don't want people just clicking the text or clicking on the background and that changing slide. We want it to just be treated as one object. Okay, so we'll leave that for now though. We'll come back and do the linking later when we have something to link to. What we'll do now is we want to add our character illustration. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to use this site here. So it's called getavatars.com. And I'll just go back to the site here. So yeah, Get Avatars. It's got 3 A's on that last A there, avatars. Anyway, what it does, it allows us to create these free downloadable characters with different facial expressions, which is the key to them. So here, say for instance, with this character, we can go for a sad look there, so we can change the shape of the mouth, and then eyebrows. We could go sad, concerned there too. So you can see quickly we can get these different emotional expressions, and that's going to be used back on our example here. If we go to continue, and so we've got a neutral face here, but if we choose the non-ideal option and the consequence here, we can see that Alex has a sad face, whereas if we choose the ideal option here, speak up, we can see she has a happy face. So what we want to do is download those 3 characters. So all right, what we'll do is back here on Get Avatars, first of all I'm going to turn off the circle, just make it transparent. You can actually change the character a lot as well, but I'm just going to leave it as the default character here. What I'm going to do is with the eyebrows, I'll just make them the default for now. So we're going to make our default one here. So we want mouth serious and everything else, just leave it. Default, and then now we want to download this character. So what you do is you just press PNG here and it will download. I've actually got here in my downloads folder. I've actually got them and created them. I've named this character, was Ashley there. So what I'll do, I've named her Alex in the actual scenario storyboard. So I'm just going to rename the thing, but basically we want a sad version. In fact, I will delete these and get them again. So we'll go through the process. So just quickly, so here's our neutral one. So I'll download there. It'll end up in here. So I'm going to call this Alex dash neutral. Okay, let's go and now we'll make our happy version. So smile, and yeah, so that will do. Just change the mouth to smile. We'll download this version. Okay, this one will be Alex dash happy, and lastly, we want the sad one. So sad mouth, and you can leave it with just that, but you can also with this one go to eyebrows and you can go sad concerned. Okay, and then download that PNG. So then this one we'll go to here we go, Alex sad. Okay, so we've got our three characters. What we're going to do now in our editor, Genially, is go to resources, and we're going to upload the first of these characters. So that will be Alex neutral. Okay, and when that image, it might just take a moment, and then it will appear on the slide. There we go. So I'm going to drag her up the top, and we want her, I think, to maybe take 5 rows. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, okay. And drag her over, and Genially will help us center align the image. There we go. Okay, there we go. There she is. So with that done, so that's the character there. So now we're going to add the text. By the way, what I've got here is just the text in a, and I'll create a link to this as well. It's very short though, and again, this storyboard and this script is not something you'd use in a real project. It's a very basic example I've done just for this project here. And again, the emphasis is just on how to put this together, how to get a small mini scenario going. So again, this scenario is not something you'd use in real life. It's just too basic. Okay, so anyway, let's add this text. So I'm going to go choose the text option here, drag out this paragraph text here. It's an element outside of Canvas. Anyway, I'll just click on it, and that will add it to the for us. Okay, so now I'm going to drag this up so it's one row. We've got a row gap underneath there, and otherwise and we've got basically a column gap and a column gap on each side. I'll just fix that up a bit. Okay, now what I wanted to do is grab the text from the storyboard, which is this bit here. So from slide 1, copy that and come back to the editor. I'm going to click inside. If the text doesn't select, you can press Control or Command A, and that will select all the text. Now I'm just going to do a Command or a Control V, and that will paste the text in. I'm just going to select between these sentences, press Enter. Okay. Now also I'm going to select all the text, and I'm going to center align that text. And also what we'll do is we'll just change the line height a little bit. So by default it's 1.15. This is the height between the actual lines here. I'm just going to make that, press that once to make it 1.3. It just helps with the readability a little bit, having the lines spaced out a little more. What I'm also going to do, because we've just got a bit of text here, let's just highlight some of the text just to highlight the key bits. So she's recently joined a team is the important bit here. She's, let's just say, eager to contribute and positive impression. All right, you can choose what the bits of text you think are most important to the reader here. I've just had a quick go there. All right, so that's done. So this slide's actually pretty much done and ready to go. What we can do is actually just lastly is we can animate this button. If you'll notice here, when we load, it loads a bit here, and having this slide in, it might be a bit too long of a pause there. We'll make it a bit shorter, but just helps the user again that this is something that we can click. It's a dynamic element that will take us forward. So you'll see all our buttons at the bottom animate and slide in, and that's nice and easy to do in Genially. So I'm going to select that button. Remember that it's comprised of the rectangle and the text on top. And I'm going to press add animation, this little button here, it looks like a comment. And then that will open this panel here. We want an entrance animation, and we're going to choose slide. We're going to slide in upwards from the bottom. And then for the pause, so basically this is, it will basically the slide loads, and then this is how long it will wait until it loads. So I'm going to choose 0.4 there. The other one on the other example was 0.6, and I thought that was a bit long. So what we can do now is just take a look at this. If we just press present, it will open a new tab for us and it will load this slide. And we should see the slide appear. Here we go. And then our button slides in. Now, we can't press it yet because we haven't set that up and we don't have any other slides to link to, but we're about to create that. So I'm going to shut that tab. Okay, back to the editor in our project. Now, rather than, we want to create a new slide or page as it's called here. And to do that, we can go add page, but we've got a lot of the setup that we already want to use on this slide or page here. So we can just press this button here and duplicate it. So we've duplicated that. And while we're at it, let's just name these. So I'll just call this context. So this sort of sets the context for us. This one will be the challenge. This is where we're actually going to be introducing the problem and the question as well. So, all right. So to do this, what we're going to do is back here, you'll notice that we've got a bit more text. So we've actually made the image of Alex smaller because we've got a bit more text, and we also need a bit more space because we need 2 buttons here. So let's go and set this up. So what we'll do, I'm going to grab Alex, and she'll be 3 rows high or so, and then center her. There we go. Okay. I'm going to grab this text, hover over the edge till I get that 4-sided arrow, and then, which means we can move it, and I'm going to drag it up there. Okay. All right. And then with our button here, what we want to do is we want to, let's actually, oh no, yeah, we'll do these buttons now. So we want 2 of them, and they need to be a little taller. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to zoom in a bit. Okay, and then, so right, we've zoomed in on our button. I'm going to ungroup it. And it says, oh, that warning, by the way, said we're going to lose the animation on our button. Because we copied it from this slide and this button has animation set up on it, when we copied the page, it actually copied that animation. So this was animated. But when we ungrouped it, that warning was just saying we'll lose that animation. And that's fine. We'll quickly set it up again. The reason we want to ungroup it is because I want to select just the rectangle behind, so not the text on top, just the rectangle. And we're going to drag it up so that it's about half the height of the next row as well. So again, I'll do that again. So we just grab the top and drag it up so it's halfway up between this row here. Okay, then with our text, I'll click on the side till we get the 4-sided arrow. I'm going to drag that up the top. And let's actually go over to our storyboard here, and I'm going to grab this option, the first choice here, and say it's the speak up option, and I'm just going to paste that in there. Now the text is a bit big, so I'm going to select all this text here, select it, and let's make it size, say, we'll try that size 16 there, but we'll also make it bold so it's a bit easier to read, and it's still a roboto text there. So I'm going to hover over so we can select just the text and then center that there. Okay, that's looking okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to select both of those. We won't group it yet. What I'll do is I clicked and I selected around both the background rectangle and the text. I'm going to Command or Control C to copy it, and then Command or Control V to paste it. I'm going to drag the copy up here. Okay, place that up there. And now what I'm going to do is grab the other option here, this the non-ideal option, stay quiet, and we're going to paste that text in there. So there we go, stay quiet. Okay, all right, and actually this just needs a full stop on the end. Okay, so it's good. What we'll do now is we want to change this text here to what we have on the storyboard. So I'm going to grab this text, and come back, and I'm going to, one way you can select all the text, you can select all around it. Another way, you can actually triple click on paragraphs to select them, or actually if you press Command or Control A, it will select all the text in a text box. Now I'm going to press Command V because we copied that other text, and here we go. So we've got this now. Now I'm going to space this out, but you'll notice this text is actually a bit big. So what I'm going to do is select it, and rather than size 20, I'll make it size 16 as well. Okay, so it's all right. We do have different size text here, but that's okay. So it's a bit, it's definitely, smaller text here. We might actually, if we select it all, let's just see, we can type in our own value here. So I'll try 18. That's actually better. Yeah. And to keep things consistent, I'm going to do this. So this is size 20 here. I'm going to select this text on the first slide. Let's make it size 18 as well. Okay. Just to keep our text size consistent there. All right. And then this is nearly done. Let's just highlight some of this text. So we'll say project deadline is approaching, off track. Okay. She wants to speak up. Yeah. Okay, but she's worried and concerned. She might be received. Okay, all right, so we'll just highlight that text. Okay, actually, I've just noticed it's not quite aligned properly, so I'll just move that up a bit. Okay, that's a bit better. And actually, I'm just going to move this up a fraction, so that's better aligned there. All right. Okay, all right. Now what we want to do, so this is nearly set up, we need to, with these buttons, set these up, or group them and animate them. So I'm going to select around this first one, selecting both objects, the rectangle and the text, group them. I'm going to click the Add Animation button, and again, it's an entrance animation. We want it to slide upwards, so slide an up arrow and take 4 seconds, and then same thing down here. So grab those, group, and add an animation. Sure, seem to have added it anyway. Yeah, okay. I don't know how, but anyway, seem to have that added already. Okay, so they should be both animated now. You can see when something's got something animated in Genially, it's got this purple look here. So, okay, let's just test this out. And in fact, what we're going to do, before we do that, we'll go back to the first slide. Let's actually link this button to the next slide. And to do that, we just click, we select the button, we say Add Interactivity, this button here. And then we want to say Go to Page, and then we just want to select Go to Page 2. So we select Page 2 here and save that. Now let's present this, and we should have it set up so that our button animates in, and then we can click it, press it, and go to the next slide, and then we should see these options come in. Yep, so this slide's ready to go now. We just need to add the 2 consequences slides, so the 2, what happens when this button's clicked and what happens when this button or option is chosen. All right, so let's shut that. What we're going to do to create those consequences slides, they're going to look more like slide, rather than duplicate slide 2, it's got 2 buttons on it and a smaller character. The consequences slides are going to look more like slide 1. So let's actually just duplicate slide 1. I'm going to drag it down underneath here so it becomes slide 3. Let's rename it. So we'll say consequence 1 ideal. So this is our good consequence. All right, so let's do this. So first of all, we want to change our character. So I'm going to delete that avatar, come back to resources. We want to upload. So this is our ideal one. So Alex is happy. So when this image adds to the screen, we will position, make her 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 tall, just a bit bigger there. Okay, that's about right. All right, center. We go. Yep, that's good. Okay. All right. That's good. Okay. Now we need to change the text. So, so the idea, the better choice, is copy this text here. Selecting here, I'm going to Command or Control A, select all the text, and then Command or Control V to paste it. Okay, so that's good. It does look like that spacing's a little off down the bottom there. So I'm just going to put my cursor here, enter down. It's going to select all this text and redo that spacing. That looks better now. Okay. All right. All I did there was create an extra line and then went and redid the space, although it still looks... Anyway, I'm sure it's fine. Okay, so here, this is good. So we say highlight that she raises the issue at a meeting. The team adjusts the timeline. Oh, actually, okay. Avoiding delays is good. And showing appreciation for Alex's input. We'll highlight that. Okay, great. Good. And then here, from this button, I'll just select that text and restart. Okay, so now that's still a grouped object. And what we can do, it's still got the animation. All we want to do is change this. Click here instead of when we, I mean, you wouldn't probably want to restart this, but if you choose the correct option, get the ideal choice, you can actually just restart we'll make it so you can restart the whole activity again. All right, so we're nearly done. All we need to add is our fourth one, which is the non-ideal choice and consequence. So we'll call this consequence 2. And this is going to be our non-ideal. Okay, non-ideal option. So what we want to do here is delete that, delete the picture, and we'll go to resources and we'll upload our final image for this project, which is going to be Alex sad. So we'll just position her and we'll change the text and the button, and then we should be good to go. Okay, so all right, here we are. Okay, so there's Alex looking sad. The text here is here, so I'm going to copy this and come over to our editor and select all the text, paste the text, and then we'll say that she stays quiet. And then we'll say it causes delays. Team struggles to recover. Okay. All right. And then here, our option is actually go back. So go back and in brackets, we'll just say try again. Now, with scenarios, you can choose what happens. You don't always, on the incorrect choice or the non-ideal choice, want them to be able to go back and try again. On a very simple scenario like this, you can do that. It's some other options, it might lead to a consequence, and you might just show the correction. So you don't always do this on the less ideal choice, but you can, and that's what we'll do here. So all we want to do here, so this already has the animation on it. We just want to change the link where it goes, and it's going to link back to the challenge to have another go. Okay, so we've got our 4 pages or slides now. So let's actually let's go and present this, and we'll test it all out. Okay, so what we're going to do is yep, so that's all looking okay. So we press continue. Here are our options. So let's choose the less ideal one. Stay quiet. And for some reason, that doesn't seem like that link's working at the moment. So I'm going to shut this and see what's happened. So I'm going to come back, click on this button, and for some reason oh, maybe we never set it up. I can't remember. Anyway, it's good to test. Go to page. So yeah, I don't think we set that up. My apologies. So stay quiet. This is our non-ideal choice. So link that there. We choose the speak up option, and we're going to link that. Oops, just press that one. Go to page, and this is our ideal choice. So save that, let that go there. All right, let's test this again. I'm just going here. When you click on an object that is linked, yeah, it says go to page 1. That's good. This one should say go to page 2. It does. Okay, so this should be okay. Let's try it again. All right. So now we press continue, and here's our again. So we'll say stay quiet. Okay, so that's good. So it's linking to the correct slides now. We'll go back, try again. And this time speak up. And here we go. That's our ideal choice. And that's it. And we'll restart. Okay, so that's it for this video. In future videos, we will look at how to actually take the embed code from Genially, which you get by sharing here. We can get an embed code, but in another video, a short video, we'll look at how to embed it in a website or a learning management system. I'll be using Moodle, but you can embed it in anything that, or any site that allows you to do embeds or learning management system. So yeah, we'll look at that and just a few sort of user experience and user interface options that we can do to sort of hopefully improve the experience from the user over any default options. We'll also look to make sure it's looking good on the mobile phone and on the computer, but we'll leave it there for this video, and thanks for watching.